What's good, everybody? Welcome to Talk Rice to Me. I'm Jesse.
JR.
Steven.
I'm Jay.
There's only somebody else on the coming in tonight. His name is Kane. He's currently unavailable at the moment, but he will be here shortly. But anyways, let's go ahead and get the show on the road, okay? So I want to ask you guys, have you guys ever noticed that women always want to talk about, I want a guy that's 6 foot. I want a guy that's tall. They got to be tall this, tall that. But don't you think it's kind of weird that women can't really tell what the difference between 5'11" is and 6 foot?
Do you think that it cuts off at 5'11"? I think it goes a little shorter than that. I think it's like 5'10". 5'10".
So I think it's funny because usually they have to be 6 foot, right? But then most guys, and then women make a big deal about guys lying about their height. They'll say, oh, he ain't 6 foot, you only 5'11" or some stupid shit like that, right? But in reality, you can't tell the difference between 5'11" and 6 foot. It's literally the same. And then most guys, they always round up. Like, we'll talk about social dating apps, right? Usually, guys will lie about their height. You ever hear the saying that say that guys usually add 2 inches to their height? Did you ever use dating apps?
Yeah.
You always do you put your actual height on there?
I do. But I technically I'm 5'11" and a half, but I always round up to 6.
That's fine.
Because for the same exact reason. But I have like guy friends who add like 2 inches to their height, which is
How tall are they really before they add their height to it?
like I know a guy who's like 5'7", 5'8", and he put himself as 5'10", 5'11". But he did that because he got so many more matches when he did, and that opened the door for them to actually get to know them and talk to their personality, and then kind of convince them through other ways other than the initial height.
Yo, I think there's an inverse relationship with the shorter they are, the more they'll round up.
Okay, what you say it again?
I said basically, the shorter a guy is, the more they'll round up, and then the taller they are, the less they'll round up, and because they want to get as close as possible to 6 foot. That's believable. There's people who are 6'9" who round, or 7 feet that round down. I'm talking about you, Kevin Durant, because he doesn't want to be seen. He doesn't want to be seen as 7 foot. Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying. I just feel like people want to get over 6. That's all.
Okay, so let me address the topic here, okay? So you say that your friend rounds up, which is very common. I've heard that before. I think, in my opinion, every single guy should put themselves at 6 foot, regardless if you're 6 foot or not. I think
Yes, here's why I agree.
Go
so
ahead.
there is a statistic that is out there online somewhere, I'm not sure where, that says that I think it was like a really high number. It was above 50% of girls filter out guys. Like, you know how you can put the height as a requirement on a dating app? They put 6 feet like as that requirement. So I feel like if you're like 5'10", 5'11", you should just lie, get in the door, make a good impression, and then she won't care if you're really 6 feet or not.
Wait,
Okay.
Jesse, you gotta preface every guy should be put at 6. What if the
Yes,
dude is
I agree.
5'2"?
I mean, then the question becomes, what is the height at which you should put yourself at 6 foot? Because obviously, someone's
That's-
5 foot can't.
That's what I'm saying. If you 5'10", go to 6 feet.
I think 5'10".
If you
5'10"
5'9",
makes sense.
you 5'11". If you 5'8", you 5'10". You add 2 inches at least. If you 5'5", you 5'9". I think if you 5'5", that's when you really
Bargain.
start cranking that joint up.
okay.
You wear Air Force Ones to the first date. You wear Air Force Ones, Timbs, platforms, something to be tall. Insoles, whatever you gotta do.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is-
make him fall in love. and
Fake it
then
till you make it.
here.
This is why I say every guy should put himself at 6 foot, okay? Because on social dating apps, it's a completely an aesthetic thing. It's all about the physical traits. You're basically judging somebody I'm gonna say almost 90% on just physical, right? You may see like a prompt like, oh my God, I like gaming. This girl likes the game. I'm down. Let's go play some Valorant together. You know what I'm saying? You might use that joint as a way to get in the door. Like, oh, you play video games? What did you play? You play League? I'll be the support to your ADC or some shit like
Yes,
that.
yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
But okay, the reason why I say that every guy should put themselves at 6 foot is because women know the best angles for themselves in pictures. So the majority of the time, not every single woman out there, they know the best angles. They take 1,000 pictures and they pick like 3 or 4 of the best ones, right? And on top of that, they're wearing makeup, and on top of that, they use filters and they edit their pictures, right? So they are putting themselves in the best marketing positions possible. Okay. How many girls do you know would actually say, "Hey, yo, put your actual pictures with no makeup on, no filters, and a regular angle"? How many girls do you think would actually do that? And like, how many people do you think would actually like them back if they just put the real life pictures on there?
Wait, are you saying that in reference to like
It's-
that's why guys should lie about their height is because
In essence, I'm gonna say this: it levels the playing field. If
Okay.
girls,
Same thing. It's the same thing basically.
Yes.
yes,
Effectively
it's
doing the same thing.
exactly girls using filters, all that stuff, makeup. It's the same thing because they're lying about their appearance, right? And then on the same things like as a guys, we are okay. Think about it this way: you choose to put on makeup, you choose to edit your photos, you choose to use filters. A guy cannot choose his height. That's genetics.
That's fair.
Right.
That's
so
fair.
if you were just leveling your play, okay, I'm 6'2", by the way, right? So I'm advocating for my short kings out there, right? I am advocating for my short kings out there, and I'm trying to make it a fair playing ground for all men, and that's why I say that every guy should put themselves at 6 foot, because if you put everybody at 6 foot, you level the playing field, and so the only thing they could judge you on is based on your appearance. What if a girl met this perfect guy, absolutely perfect dude, and he was only 5'10"? Right? He never even got past the freaking the sorting machine or whatever, or the sorting thing through Hinge because he's registered at 5'10".
I think in a way, then I think height should not be one of the attributes on Hinge. That's honestly what you're trying to say. It shouldn't be one then, because there are times where, as a guy, you know, there's a girl who pops up at 4'11", and I'm like, I will X and not match them because they're 4'11".
Why don't you want them at 4'11"? You know, they don't even gotta get on their knees.
Mind you, I am 6'1". I am 6'1", but the thing is, all right, maybe it depends on my horniness level. Like if I'm horny, I don't care. But if I'm like, I'm not really that horny, then you're just like, I don't want to feel like I'm with a child.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying that, like, okay, because for most women, we said this earlier, right? Like for any woman who's like 5'5" or whatever, when they look up, 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, it all looks the same. Just like Kane said it earlier, right? When we look at basketball players, when we look at them 7 foot dudes, it all looks the same, like 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 7 foot. It looks the same, right, Kane?
Yeah.
I would say it's the same tier.
Tell them the story about your Joel Embiid story.
Oh, yeah, so story time. Nah, it's not really a long story, but I stood next to Joel Embiid. Dude's massive. I mean, 7'2", 280. I mean, I was just like, because I was playing basketball, you know, we were at the same hotel. I was just like, yeah, there's just zero chance I could get a shot over this dude, you know, like in a game. Like, he's just massive. Like, he doesn't even look real, honestly.
And you're 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1".
6 feet, 6'1". 6'1" with shoes, maybe. Type
6'1".
thing.
Round up, right? You gotta
6'1".
round up.
If you 6'1"
Hey,
with
look,
shoes, you 6'1".
For sure. I mean, my hinge, I don't have a hinge anymore, but.
Why don't you
6
got a
foot.
hinge no more? Hey, you was pulling too much
Nah,
girls,
nah,
weren't
not
you?
even. All right, a few reasons. One, I didn't get on it enough. So, like, you know, it was just kind of a waste of time. Like, you know, maybe I'm like taking a shit or something. And it's just like, all right, let me just get on Hinge. Like 5 minute shit turns into 10 type thing. And then 2, I was just like, I don't want it to be my crutch. So, like, I want to actually talk to girls in real life and meet them and not be like, oh, well, like, you know, I got a couple options on Hinge. So, like, I'll fall back to that. Like, I'm not pressed to talk to anyone in this room. So,
Okay.
it was like a self thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think you brought up a lot of issues, Jesse. I think I guess first issue talking about the 5'10" rounding up is just that you run the risk of coming across disingenuous when you meet them in real life and you actually say, "Oh, I'm not. I'm 5'8", not 5'10", and lying is pretty bad in most situations, in most starts of relationships. Like if I met a girl who's 5'2" and she's says that on Hinge she's like 5'4", 5'5", and she's like, "Oh, I put it because on heels I'm 5'4", 5'5". I'd be like, "Oh, it's a little weird."
You know what's really funny? I feel like there are some guys who lie about their height so much that it like they start to believe that height that they are that height like actually. So then like they think they're not lying about it. And so now they think they're telling the truth to other girls. Cause like even when you like measure yourself, you you know, like, oh, my hair is like, let me add an inch because my hair is like that
Yeah,
type
you're
of
right,
deal.
you're right, you're right,
So
you're right.
it's like, I don't know. Some guys just start to believe like, oh, I'm really 6 feet, even though they're like 5'9". And at that point, are you being disingenuous? I don't know.
Or you're just delusional.
I got
Yeah, you might be delusional.
I mean, they do have those platform shoes, like 2.5 inches.
Yo, I got two examples for you. One guy, just you and I know, he be like, yeah, I'm 6 feet. And we're like, dude, you're not 6 feet. And Jesse and I were like, yeah, you're not 6 feet. He goes, what do you mean? You guys are like 6'3", 6'4". I'm like, you cannot add height to someone else to make yourself look taller.
Yeah.
You cannot do that.
I know you're talking about.
And then another time in college, there's someone I know, basically was very close with, and he was like, yeah, I'm 6 feet. And he's like, Jay, how tall are you? I'm like, I'm 6'1". He goes like, really? And then at the time, I was wearing Vans, and he was wearing duck boots, but I was still taller than him. He's like, it must be these, he goes, oh, it's just the shoes. I'm like 6 feet because my doctor says I'm 6 feet. I was like, I'm barely over 6 feet. I'm like 6 feet and 5/8. So I ran out to 6'1", right? And he was like, nah, I'm 6 feet too, even though I'm clearly an inch or two taller than him. He's like, it's the hair, because at the time I had a faux hawk. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I think it's that too, but it's also just, I think for me personally, personality can add height.
Oh,
If you have like a big, like boisterous personality, I'm just gonna assume you're relatively bigger or taller. So like, for example, like someone who's like a bit more like, yeah, just a bit more like straightforward and talks a lot, I kind of add height depending on how they carry themselves out. Versus someone a bit more like shyer, it's kind of, it depends. Yeah, I just think perception of people can add at least an inch.
Let me ask you something though. But do you think this is general? This is just generalization. I'm not including like Kevin Hart in this, right?
Sure.
But do you think that's because people kind of it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy? We have you might know who I'm talking about. He's a very short guy, nicest guy in the world. So nice. He's not one to command a room.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly.
Very
what you're
shy,
talking about.
not very shy. He's just
Not
to
shy.
himself. But it also at the same time, he ends up as like the butt of almost every joke, it feels like.
Wait, becomes a butt of every joke.
He's the butt of a lot of jokes. And I even told him, I said, look, because of that, I said, hey, yo, I'm never gonna let you be like the butt of my jokes, right? Just because I feel bad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like the polar opposite. I'm 6'1", and my personality is huge, it's big, it's massive. Or like I have a very eccentric personality or whatever. But I'm saying, is it because I have the confidence of my height, and then someone who is shorter does not have the confidence of their height to lean on, so they end up more timid?
I think it could be both, right? It could be like a negative feedback cycle, right? You're already short, maybe that, you maybe feel insecure about that, so you're less likely to talk, and then you just kind of maybe even slouch a little bit, and then you just come across just a little bit more meek.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's very situational, context dependent, but for you, I can confirm that you have a pretty big personality, so I'm not shocked that someone might think you're like 6'2".
let's rewind a little bit, right? Basically, what I'm trying to say, when I'm saying that every guy should just put themselves at 6 foot, I'm just saying that like literally level the playing field. Because 5'10" guy, like Steven, how tall are you?
I am 5'11", but I am probably adding like half an inch.
But regardless of the fact, though, like a girl should not discount you like as a contender or like as a suitor, as someone as a possible match just because you're 5'11", or like she like sees you on Hinge. Oh, he's 5'11", I'm out, right?
Yeah.
But then meets you in person, like, damn, you're actually a great person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to just say, yo, give my guys some like some play. You know what I'm saying? Like let them get in the door.
Hey.
Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, because have you guys ever heard the saying that like Kane or Jay, have you ever heard that like for tall guys, like being tall is his personality?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard that saying?
Yes.
Or like the equivalent is for females where just being hot is their personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
So y'all think that's real?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just know dudes who are like tall, but like just not interesting people. And it's just like, he's just tall.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, he doesn't even hoop either, I'd be in the league if I was this tall.
So you'd be jealous of a guys that like 6'5" and just got nothing.
I'm not jealous. Maybe if I was like in high school, I was like, damn, dude, if I was like 6'3", 6'4", things might be a little different, but
You're like, you
matter.
tall for no reason, bro. Give me some of that height.
it's a cliche thing, all the things result in who you are today type thing. So it's-
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, so let's go to the girl part of this. Like y'all all met these girls where like they're just hot, they got no personality, right? Would y'all be able to like date a girl like that? No personality, dry, just like they just
Depends.
good to look at.
I mean,
Depends.
define date like
Boyfriend and
relationship?
girlfriend,
Oh,
official.
Probably
No?
not.
Not at all. You wouldn't even give her a chance. Nothing.
I mean, you're like to have a relationship, you would have to
Yeah.
date for like some period of time to have that relationship.
That's fair.
So that's me giving that chance. Right.
Will it? All right. I'm gonna ask you: does a personality ever develop, or is it like one of those long games? Like I'm in an MMO and she's at level 1 personality, and I'm helping her all to level 99. You know, is it like that, or is it no? She's stuck at level 1 forever.
Okay, I'll give you a little analysis. I think that a girl who is just hot and no personality is still dateable. I think it still is dateable. And this is my reason. This is my reason, okay? At the end of the day, a lot of people might not agree with this. Compatibility is more important than chemistry. Because compatibility is like what your values are, like JR, like how your parents raised you, and like how some girl, like your girlfriend,
Yeah.
how like they raised her, right?
Sure.
The way you believe things, like sometimes religion,
Yeah.
like some people they want to date people of the same religion, sometimes people want to date the same race.
Sure.
You know, I think that you can develop a personality because a personality is developed through like your life experiences,
Yeah.
your interests, shit like that.
I agree, but I mean, what you're talking about is basically pretty privilege. How
Oh, we talking about pretty right?
yeah, I mean, where like, you don't have to develop a personality if you're hot because people are gonna be naturally attracted to you because of like the halo effect, basically.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that everybody has a personality that can come out, but
Okay.
for some people, it's just so layered behind other defense mechanisms that it's almost impossible to tease out. Like it requires a lot of focus, and you have your own problems, so it's kind of difficult to.
What if? Hey, let me ask y'all. What if she's really hot but just shy?
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
fine.
That's what I
That's
asked.
fine.
Am I starting at level 1 and bringing her to level 99, or is she stuck at level 1 forever?
Okay. What do you say?
No, I was gonna say I think most women, if you're really into them and they're down for the ride or whatever you want to call
Down
it.
for the ride.
like she's down to like work this, like try to make it work, whatever. Like she likes you, whatever. You could like mold her in some ways, right? Where you can like bring it out of her, like
See-
over time, right?
See what you.
That's a weird word.
See, that's a touchy
But
subject. That's a
it's
touchy subject because
but
you
it
said
happens.
you said mold, and most women gonna be like, oh, that's manipulation. You want to
Sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
manipulate a girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it could come off that way. I don't. I'm not. Look, I use the word mold. Yeah.
You should just say influenced. That's still manipulation. Everything will be seen as manipulation. I have another approaching this subject a little bit. One, I feel like if someone actually likes you, that's when you show your personality.
True.
If you don't like a girl, every guy here, if y'all aren't feeling a girl, are y'all gonna show your personality? You're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's straight. Yeah, that's whatever. But if you like a girl, you'll be a little more, interactive. You'll actually pop jokes. You'll like tease her and stuff like that. But if you don't like a girl, you're like, oh yeah, that's cool. Thanks. Bye. That's it. Do you think a hot girl's the same way? Like if a hot girl has no personality, it's just that she ain't like you like that much.
I mean, that's possible.
She'd be kind of like standoffish.
She'll be standoffish. Or are
she-
you saying what the personality is saying? Like she just
shy.
shy, or her tone of voice is very monotone and she talks like this and blah 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 blah, which I get because I couldn't date someone girl who talks like this. Yeah, everything's okay. Like you don't want to date someone like I couldn't. It's be hard. You'd rather have someone who could show their emotions. Like, oh, she happy right now. Cool. She's sad right now. All right. She mad right now. Word. You don't be like, what the hell is she thinking?
Okay, let's use some examples in this situation.
All
Just-
right.
y'all three have we in the Big Apple, by the way.
And what's
These all are not Big Apple native. Y'all ain't born here. Y'all moved here within the last year or two?
Yeah.
Last year. And so you guys have experiences in different areas and here. Give us your input on how women in general, because obviously I'm gonna say right now, I think me personally, I think New York City got the most beautiful women, some of the most beautiful women in the country. My preference, the type of women I like live here in New York, right? So I want y'all's take. What do y'all think about like the women here and like how like dating is, social, like what's the dynamic compared to like Chicago for y'all two,
Sure.
and stuff like that?
In response to you saying NYC has like the most beautiful women, I just think it's more about the fact that it's populated, and when there are more people in a certain area, there's more. It's more bound to have more attractive people, right? Like it's just like a statistically speaking.
Agreed. I mean, numbers game, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Wait, what was the original question?
I was saying that how do you
How's it differ
how's
from
it-
other
how- yeah.
places? Oh, well, I just feel like I think, well, this might just be a me problem, but I don't think it is. It's just hard to be in a relationship, especially first year in New York City, right?
You want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I look, I'll just say it's a lot of window shopping type stuff, right? Because like you just meet a lot of people, you know, you're kind of feeling things out, you know, and with a lot of options, you're just like, I feel I can find like the best option, you know? And so like,
There's always something better.
yeah, it's like you always have that in the back of your head. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
there's many fish in the sea. Like I see like 3 girls a day I fall in love with. I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
like-
what's your go-to move? Like how like you see this cute ass joint like on the street. What's your move?
I don't catcall girls on the street.
No. Okay, I mean
anymore.
figuratively, whether it's in
Oh.
the street, like in a social setting, or anything. You see somebody attractive. What's your go-to move?
What's my go-to move? I don't have like a line, to be honest. I really don't. I probably just I usually just try to comment on like something she's wearing or something like that, or something I notice. It's just very specific to the girl.
Okay.
Or if like I heard some information about her from like she's like a mutual friend, you know, whatever. I'll just use that.
Okay.
I don't have like pickup lines, to be honest.
Oh, it doesn't
be honest
necessarily
with
have
you.
like a pickup line. It could be like anything, you know, like you know what negging is? Some guys will like talk to a girl, but they won't actually like directly hit on them. They'll just be like, or they'll say something like, not like to disrespect them, but kind of like bring them down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Tease them.
Tease them. Like damn, your outfit's like, your colors don't like aren't matching or something like that. I don't,
Yeah,
or something like that. Or like, damn, you like why? Because why you come out in them crusty ass shoes or something like that? You know.
Your negging is
Yeah, that's just kind of mean.
Yeah.
I'm just coming with examples.
Mean.
You could have been like a girl's wearing Croc skin shoes. I'm like, hey, why'd you have to kill a whole crocodile for this, John? What about PETA or something like that?
Okay, I'll tell you one of my one of my favorite things I like to do. Okay, y'all know women love astrology. A lot of women
Yes.
love astrology, and so I like astrology myself, and I follow that stuff. But I'll ask them, be like, "Hey, what's your sign?" And they'll tell me, and they'll tell me something like, "Oh shit!" Like I was like, "Hey yo," and I was like, "Hey yo, I'm out, I'm out." And then like they'll be like, "Why? What's wrong?" And I'll be like, "Oh, you a Virgo?" I was like, "I can't deal with Virgos, y'all just ain't nothing's good enough for y'all," and that's it. Because like Virgos are known to be like perfectionists or like super picky. So I use that negative attribute about them and be like, "Oh, I guess I ain't good enough for you," and I just
Do you
walk
agree
away.
with that, Steven?
No, have you seen that one guy on TikTok? He like goes up to like really attractive girls and then he'll ask like their zodiac sign.
Yeah.
And like whatever they say, he'll just be like, "Oh no, I'm
be
good."
like, "Hell
No,
no."
I'm good, and he'll just like walk away.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
basically what I'm saying, because like every single person, because like, it doesn't have to be exactly, because most like horoscopes are like generalizations, and then like, you know, it's not like all true, but it's like generalizations that you can make like subtle things, like subtle like comments about, you know, like what's your Steven?
I am a Virgo.
Of course it is.
You're a Virgo, so
Yes.
like,
Yep.
you know, that's so are you a very picky person?
Depends what. Like,
There's also there's another thing. You see, Virgos are very meticulous.
I don't think so. I mean, I can be, but like that's everybody, right?
I guess so. But okay,
But
regardless,
that's also how I feel about every zodiac sign. Like you can be this, you can be that.
exactly. But like you're just like I said, you're not trying to get deep into it. You're just using it as a gateway to like strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of like giving a compliment, because
Yeah.
like it's like y'all seen the movie Hitch, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody gives compliments. Everybody says, "Oh, your hair's nice. You look beautiful today." Yada yada yada. But if you hear the same line over like 100 times, if 100 guys came on and hit on a girl, and 100 guys said you are beautiful, but 100 times they'll be like, yeah, think that's good enough. That one person that's different, she's probably gonna give the opportunity to that one person that's different. But that person also gotta be cute too. If he ain't cute and she don't find attractive, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
You know, that's what I mean by like, I didn't mean like to try to disrespect the girl.
Oh no, I was just fucking with you. But yeah.
You know,
Yeah, makes sense.
like your shoes suck.
I just want to say, Jesse, the negging lines you used were a little
broke his
bit. They were a little bit. It was on the teetering of disrespect instead of negging. But we got your point.
I'm just trying to pull it out of the top of my head, but like,
And we got it. You got your point. Jesse's
No,
not
the
a
concept
disrespectful
is-
person. Jesse's the most least disrespectful person in the world.
Yeah.
but obviously it ain't working because I'm still single.
Maybe that means
That's not true.
You need to be more disrespectful. I'm kidding. Don't get don't no. You're good.
I think that well, I guess two things. Well, going back to the whole dating scene in New York City,
Yeah.
I would agree with these two, of course. That it's just like a sheer number of people you're bound to happen to see someone pretty. But I would also suggest that the city's full of social climbers and a lot of people who try to like one up each other, so they just put more effort into their appearance or their general attractiveness. So, and also with New York, there's such a wide diversity of people that you kind of just see all different types. Like LA's got like a lot of pretty people as well, but they come across a bit more homogenous, at least when I lived there.
That you bust some of the big words out here.
What kind of homogenous?
I need.
I'm
When you say
curious.
homogenous or comogenous?
I said heterogeneous.
Okay, explain that word for the people. Explain that shit.
Homogenous just meaning everyone looks kind of like the same. They kind of follow the same trend. Like everyone kind of looks like. That's why ABG became a term, is because statistically there's a bunch of people doing the same makeup in these Asian communities.
You know where the ABG look came from, right?
What?
Came from Hispanics.
Oh really? Oh no idea.
Latinas. It's like, from my understanding, it was a look that was adopted from the Hispanics.
Mm.
The whole dyed hair and
I didn't know
everything.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it came
Now
from
that I'm thinking about it.
Hispanics and the whole dyed hair scene. Because if you think about it, I think they say like Central Americans and like Native Americans, they have Asian roots. They have roots from Asia that like came over the bridge. But that's neither here or there. And then so they's the ones who like dye their hair, wear the jewelry, the lashes, and everything. And then I think that the Asian population kind of slowly adopted it. And you think about it, there's a lot of Hispanic population out there in like LA and stuff like that. So I don't know. Someone can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure it came
Yeah.
from Latinas.
Yeah, I think it was it was from Southeast Asian, like Vietnamese, Filipino adopted, and that makes sense as they're more closely like I think intertwined with the Hispanic Latino population.
I would agree. Would you say the most Asian girls that do the ABG look are from Southeast Asia? Because I don't think Koreans and Chinese girls do the ABG look, or even Japanese. I don't know that many Japanese girls, but I feel like Koreans and Chinese girls don't be doing the ABG look that much. I only know one Chinese girl that does the ABG. Two girls that have done it that were Chinese.
I don't know, man. I think it's pretty even across all of them. Like, I think the only ones that don't do it are the Fabi ones.
What about the Koreans?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I feel like Koreans do not do the ABG look
More
that much.
traditional.
Koreans on average, I think I can only speak anecdotally, but I think on average they do less because they have their own thing going on.
Exactly.
They have their own culture.
They go
their
for that
own-
cutesy look.
the
They're more
Aegyos.
cute. Yeah, Aegyo look. They give me like cute vibes. Like pinch my cheeks, I'm cute.
Pinch my cheeks, I'm cute. I don't know. Let's talk to the Korean guy. What you think? Do you think that the Korean women be doing the whole ABG look a
No,
lot?
definitely like Korean Americans. I know a lot of Korean Americans that do that whole ABG look, but like you guys said, Korean definitely does have like a different beauty standard in terms of makeup. They go for like that natural look, which is very different from like what an ABG does. So
But they say that the modern day ABG is, right? They say there's it's used to be the whole dot hair look now, but now it's like the dark hair and the ABG makeup and the nails and everything.
Okay.
That's the modern day ABG look. But all right, let me broach this subject for y'all. What's like what is like how attracting a woman and like dating a woman? What's the differences in like say in like New York City compared to like I'll give you an example. I feel like, and every single time that I've come to New York City in my entire life, I feel like it's always been easier to talk to girls in New York City. Like they're a lot more they're more approachable. Whereas back in like where I'm from, the DMV, DC area, women are just difficult as hell. All right, they are difficult as hell because like no disrespect to y'all, like there's like a sense of entitlement because they all grew up there and then they all raised together. It's kind of like a community. And so it's kind of hard to get in that community. They have a social status like established within that community, and so they have this kind of a not negatively, and kind of like an ego. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm this person, and so like they feel more entitled, and it's just more difficult to penetrate into that and actually talk to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas here, what does it say? It's like New York City is like a melting pot of cultures. There's always people coming and going, and it's like if you ain't really established in there, you're talking about like social circles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
it just feel like it's always just so much more easier to talk to people in New York City. They're just more blunt with you. You know what I mean?
I just think everyone's like a lot more social, so they're just more receptive to you speaking with them. There's also like a reputation to keep because like a lot of Asians know each other, and like if you're a bitch, then like
Makes sense.
you'll be
Word
like,
gets
oh,
around.
dude, that girl's a bitch,
Yeah.
and then everyone will be like, yeah,
Also, I think just to survive in New York City, you have to be at least a little bit extroverted.
yeah.
Whereas in places like Chicago, DC, it's very easy to get cliquey, especially LA when everyone's so spread apart that there's just like it's just so densely populated. Like everyone goes to it is a big city, but it's still a small city. Like everyone still goes to the same spots. People are still going to see each other.
Oh, I want to ask you about something about that. A complaint that I sometimes voice. Actually, this is something I always freaking say. I'm like, dang, DC's so small. DC's so small because I've been there for so long. Once you've been in an area for so long, you basically meet every suitable match, every person that knows somebody, right?
Yep.
You guys have, so how long have you guys all been here? You've been here about a year. How long you been here?
We all moved around the same time.
About
About
the
a year.
same time.
Do you think or feel that happening at all? Because you said it's a big city, but still a small city. Do you feel that happening at all? Or it's like, nah, I haven't run out. It's just endless.
It's honestly endless. I meet new people every single week.
Oh, you got it like that, huh?
No, it's just
You got it. Oh, my
Hey.
man Steven got it like that.
My
Come on,
man
give me-
Steven dropping the Woj bombs, new trade alert. She's on the waivers now. We got 2 more coming in. They're coming in right now. About to finalize the deal.
It was Steven left Chicago as Steven. He went to New York as Stefan. Stefan.
Hey, y'all got some stories? Come on, tell y'all got some good stories to tell us.
I mean, like, there's a friend group that I know that like the reason why they're like a super cliquey friend group is
Okay.
because they all hooked up with the same girl. So they just became friends just through that. Which is like something I can't really say happens in like DC personally.
Nah, yes
like-
it does. Yes it
does?
does.
Oh, shit,
Yes
okay,
it does.
then I'm sorry.
So it's just like one big igloo of guys.
There's one bunch of Eskahos together.
Hey, they're the
Oh,
they're the Super Smash Bros. They're the ice climbers.
Yeah.
Ah, wow.
There you
Bruh,
go.
All right, low key, in the DMV, yeah, like everybody freaking knows everybody, right? So like if a girl gets like opened up into the market, everybody knows when she's single. Everybody knows when they single, and then it's just horrid. All right, because like my brother brought this up. Okay, Jay, you could broach subject about the age thing. Go ahead.
All right. So we're, as Jesse mentioned, we're in New York City, the Big Apple, and when my location is in the DC area, all I see is between 22 and 25. That's all I see. 25 if I'm lucky, right? If I'm lucky, I get the 25s. When I'm moving to NYC, everyone's over the age of 27. And my age range is like 22 to 28. I think I put 29 now. Actually, no, I left it at 28. But anyway, it's literally every girl is 25, 26 to 28 only in this area, it feels like. I don't know if it's because I'm not cycling that much, but do you guys notice that? Like, or nah?
I haven't noticed that, but I think one reason for that might be like if you're fresh out of college, you just can't afford to live in New York City. So like you got to build up for like a few years, and then that was for me at least. Like there was no way I could afford to live here when I was 22. I mean, there are definitely people who can, but that might be one reason. I haven't seen that trend personally.
That makes sense though, because like, yeah, I mean, I feel like you have to have some sort of like level of accomplishment to like be able to afford rent alone.
What about
you
the
know?
college kids? You know.
Oh, I mean, yeah,
You know,
they're smart
There's
college kids.
hella college kids out here.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I mean, there's literally.
I mean,
NYU.
wait. So why are you asking this? Like, do you want to see more women that are 25, 26, 27 in the DC area?
Yes and no.
This is a call to all women in the DC area.
If you're
We got a
25
referral link.
All right.
Hinge premium on the house.
All right, I'll give you
25 to 28. Let's go.
All right, I'll give you my assessment.
10 spots only.
This is just my hypothesis. This is just my hypothesis. All right. I think that usually when when women and men when they come out of college to either already in a relationship, you know, like a lot of people they end up like marrying their college sweethearts and all that stuff, right? But then on the other end, there's the people, women and men, who just go ham. They go out there, they're young, they want to explore the world, they want to find out what they like, all that stuff, and they just go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all ever hear the saying that like it comes to you when you ain't looking for it?
Yeah.
And so usually they go ham for like a year or two, and then by the time they're like 24, 25, they get linked up with some guy or girl, and they get into a long-term relationship, and they date for like multiple years, like 4 or 5, like, and then that shit is probably toxic because usually when you're at that age group, like we still like in our late 20s, early mid 20s, like you're still learning in your 20s, and so you're still growing, and you grow out of each other, and and it just becomes a toxic relationship, and you either break up. Sorry, when it does become like that, y'all break up and you have these people re-enter the dating market at like 27, 28, and they're traumatized from their past relationship. But low key, they still hung up on that stuff. They still ain't over that person yet. And so they just end up going back in the dating market and just dating people and hurting other people.
Yep.
And then they just like, because they're not essentially like ready to actually date yet. And then just hurt people. And that's why I think there's so much people in the early 20s, people just want to have fun. And then you got people in the late 20s like, dang, the clock's ticking. It's almost 30. I'm trying to go get married, right? But in reality, they actually ain't ready to get married yet. You know what I'm saying? They ain't done the healing. So that's my hypothesis. But in like you got big cities, because like I got some friends who live out in LA, and they told me that usually people settle down earlier in LA. People start earlier and they end up like they settle down earlier.
I have noticed that people in LA most of them are in relationships, but in New York City, like most of my friends are single.
Really? What's the average like settling down age do you think in New York City is?
30 plus.
I don't think there's an average age of settling down. I think it's until you leave New York City.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Honestly,
low key.
Yeah, it's just so many different reasons as to why that is.
Do you? I was about to say, do you think that's low key because New York City is not like a city of love? It's like a city of hustle.
No,
and you
dude,
can't
it's
hustle
like,
in love. I mean, it's hard to hustle in love at the same time.
It's like New York City is like going to a candy store and then like the owner telling you can only have like a Snickers bar, but you're like, oh, what? But I want some Skittles, and they're like, no, you can only have Snickers. Like, like there's so many different options that you want, and you just can't settle for one, which is horrible because it's like an illusion. Like you think you can get all these girls, but it's like you can't. But nobody knows that, and it's just guys and girls like. It's the same for guys and girls. Everyone's just, they think they can do better. And so just nonstop, I can do better. And then they never settle.
Have you heard the saying that like, there's a saying out there. It's like you find somebody and 80% of it's good, but you're searching for that 20% that's not there. Ever heard that saying? It's kind of the 80-20 rule. Or it's actually like 90-10. So basically they say usually in like in situationships, like that person is like 90% of everything that you want. They're missing that 10%. And then so you drop that person to look for that 10% in somebody else. And then when you find out it's somebody else, they're missing more. And so you can never ever settle because you're always looking for that 10% because nobody's perfect. There's not a single perfect person out there. You know what I'm saying? And so we're just falling into a cesspool and then like of that stuff. So everybody's looking for that 10% that's missing.
I just want to let you know, Steven, I don't think that's reserved just in New York. I think that's just that's a guy thing. It's like a bro thing. Every guy in life, or all guys here, there comes a time in your life where you just have you have a lot of options. You have a lot of options, right? And it just, yes, like Jesse says, you overlook the 8 green flags that a girl has because she has one red flag or one thing you don't like about her. You overlook 7, 8 green flags. But that's everything in general. We're all like that. A day can be amazing. Like just a regular day could be amazing, but one bad thing happens, you'll ignore everything else because that one bad thing.
Then it becomes a bad day.
And it becomes a bad day. Exactly.
Yeah.
I won the lottery. I did this. Oh, my girlfriend broke up with me and took the dog or keep my car.
Nah, fuck that. I'd be like, I want the lottery. Fuck her.
Hey, did you ever heard the saying says you make rules for the ones that you want. You make rules for the ones that you don't want. And you break rules for the ones that you want.
Right.
There's like if you found this perfect girl and she was everything, but then there's one thing off about it, like you just want something else. Like say you a titty guy, right? And then the girl they currently seeing, it got like nothing. Mosquito bites.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Bee stings.
Yeah, right? But then you say, I want a girl with some big titties. Right? So then you're making a rule for the girls that you don't want. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the guy you're making Wolf is like, I don't want her because she don't got no titties. And so you go look for another girl.
Yeah. I mean, I've never
Right.
met a guy that's like, oh, she has small titties. I don't like her. Like,
But the point is like you're gonna find something wrong with someone.
That you
And
don't
then
want.
you want to look elsewhere
Mhm.
to fulfill that, whatever
Yes.
that is, right?
Yes.
Hey, let me ask you. Earlier, you said a pick me girl. What do you mean? What is a pick me girl?
What is a
oh,
pick me?
okay. So just for the viewers, these guys do not know what a pick me girl is. I think it's a very popular term.
Is it a TikTok term?
Probably.
It might have been on TikTok. Do you know what a pick me girl is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so
Oh,
a pick me girl is just basically like the words. It's like pick me, like a girl who girl basically is like, oh, I'm not like other girls, and just like tries to stand out from everybody else. Like pick me, girl.
I thought she was like kind of like she's always down to chill with the guys to kind of like.
Well, she like
prove-
as an
not
example,
prove,
she'll
but,
like be like, oh, I don't want to hang out with girls because they're so dramatic, and then pick me girls will usually have like a lot of guy friends just because they're like, oh, I'm not like other girls, like I'm better or cooler. So that's a pick me girl.
So she tries to get so close with the boys.
She,
Is that what you're
she
trying to say?
doesn't try to get close with them. She just like vibes better with guys because I think they want more attention, I guess. And so it's like pick me
Yeah.
type of thing, you know?
Okay, why do you think they do that? Why do you think like they only want to hang out with guys? It's my first time ever hearing about this pick me joint.
Yeah, that's news to me.
Um,
I thought that's called being a bro. In a way.
I mean, I will say I think there are just some girls who vibe better with guys just because it's definitely a different dynamic hanging out with like a group of girls versus a group of guys. And some girls just have a personality where they mesh better with guys. But then there are also girls who just love getting attention from a bunch of guys. So
So do you think secretly they actually want one of the guys by doing that?
no, I think they just like male attention.
Okay.
Oh. Well, I agree with that, but
Oh.
like it also just makes them seem more desirable to other potential guys if they see her, you know, attracting this group of guys, or maybe she's just with them, but like it looks like she's, you know,
Wait.
attracting this flock of guys or whatever, right?
I got a question then for you. Do you think that if a girl is around a lot of guys, that it makes her more attractive or less attractive?
I say overall maybe less,
Okay.
but
I agree, man. If a girl only has guy friends, that's kind of a red flag for me.
yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm sure, like, I think I've heard girls say it the other way, like a guy who, you know, he's not gay or anything, but he just likes hanging out with girls. Like he's like the only guy friend in the group.
On the flip side, I really like when a girl has a good group of girlfriends, like a tight knit group
Yeah,
of girlfriends.
sure.
I think it's really attractive.
Facts.
For
Facts.
sure. Okay. Recently, okay, on the thing where you talk about, like, I recently saw this thing where it's talking about like about girl groups. Okay. They say that usually let me get this right. Girls that hang out with other guys is not as dangerous as a girl group because girls they enable women, right? So women, so within a female group, like if there's one girl that's feeling down, like she got out of a relationship, she's feeling whatever, the girls would naturally pick up the girl, be like, "Oh no, you a bad bitch, you know, go out there, blah 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 blah." You know what I'm talking about?
Expand on it. Expand on it.
That
Nah,
girl,
bro, I know exactly what
the
you're
girl
saying.
group is like all the other girls in the group is like the oracle of like, you know, like if like that's where she gets her validation and, you know,
Dude, yes,
closest
man.
opinions
Like
from. you know?
girls care so much about their friends' like approval, almost to the point where like if their friends like a guy, like she'll start to like the guy, like even if she didn't like the guy.
I'll give you a prime example. Whenever you in a club, about to go to a girl, and you go talk to a girl and she was a friend, what's the first thing they do?
They look to their friend and they got that look. They like,
Hey, you guys ever heard if you like a girl, right, or like you see a group of like a girl at the club, she's with 3 other friends, you talk to her friend first?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
everyone's heard that, right?
Yes. Or you
It's like-
talk to the ugliest one. Have you heard that one?
I heard
Yeah.
that one.
I heard that.
I have never done that. Okay, I, feel
just
like
pick
all
one
women
to
are
the left
beautiful.
or the right. You know,
What if it's a group of like 5?
Like
Well,
I'm
there's
just,
one girl I want. I'm saying if I want one girl out of a group of 5.
Yeah.
like
Like
if
I'm
you
eyeing one girl. So go ahead.
if you're ugly, I'll wait to Jay's point. If you're ugly and you go talk to the ugliest girl, they're just gonna be like, all right, this dude can just go talk to her.
I haven't done that.
Like, yo, y'all two have fun.
Like y'all in the bronze bracket, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead,
yeah, yeah.
duke it out.
Y'all on the same tier. Go have fun.
I don't know, because I feel like women are innately competitive.
100%, dude. You bag the best looking girl in the group. Like every girl is gonna want you. Like it's
What if you went up and talked to the friend first, but you hit on with the friend? Okay,
isn't there?
okay. Yeah, like okay, so you see these two girls, right? And then you say,
Yeah.
damn, I want that one. And so you go talking to the friends in your approach, but then you realize, you end up like liking the friend more than the other girl.
Then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an audible, you know?
It's an audible.
Life is a bunch of twists and turns, and
All right.
shit doesn't go to plan.
Because like
It's all
okay,
good.
it's kind of funny because like if you think about it, within the girls groups, it's like you said they enable each other, right?
yes.
Within guy groups, it's like, okay, how about this? When you pipe a girl, right? When you get that down, you don't go into details with your boys what you did, right? You just be like, oh yeah, we did it.
I think I do if it's a girl I don't give a shit about. But if it was like my girlfriend, I would never tell like my guy friends like, oh, I did it like this with my girl.
Here's an example. I think that usually when it comes to like females, when they go on a date with a guy, or if they like sleep with a guy or something like that, they asking questions. Oh, how was it? Did you make a kiss? Blah blah blah. How did this go? How did that go? They're asking for detail and they getting in depth with it, because there's this thing that I've noticed with women. Okay, certain type of guys, if like he's skeezy or whatnot within a friend group, right? The whole female like friend group would talk about it. Like they'll say there's a guy in the friend group named Mark. Okay. Sorry, Mark. All the Marks out there, right? Mark's a very, very sketchy dude, okay? He goes on a date with this
Fuck you,
girl
Mark.
and he fucks up. He messes up somehow. That girl tells all the girls everything about it. They're asking questions about a date and they go into detail about that shit.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They go into detail and everything
Hell yeah.
and all that stuff, right? And then, but for guys, we don't like you go on a date with a girl. You go on a date, yeah,
Like the girl's best friend is gonna know how big your dick is.
Yes.
exactly. The
100%.
curvature, how many pumps you took,
Yes.
How long you lasted, all that.
All of
yes,
that.
they asking for details when for like guys, you don't really like go into depth with that kind of stuff.
That's facts. I can agree with that.
Unless it was really unique, nah. It's not nothing to write home about. It's just like it was cool, it was good,
I'll give you an
I'd do it
example.
again.
There's an individual within my friend circle, right? He just didn't do a lot of good things, okay? Kind of disrespectful things, right? And then as a females groups, they talked about it. And then and then they reflect that same type of opinion on the entire friend group. Like, why do you hang out with that guy if he does that stuff? Right? And then we're like, I don't know, we're not talking about that stuff. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about it, but we're not talking about it, so we aren't aware of the stuff that he be doing on his own time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's like the overly kinky things he was doing.
Yes.
He was not talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
Because like I said, guys don't go into depth, so we
Yeah.
don't know, right? But the girls, they go like they get done that. They tell all their girlfriends tell all their girlfriends, and like all the girls know. And now they're bashing all the guys. Like, damn, why they still hang out with them if he's still like that?
Yeah.
That's why I find it so funny when like girls hate on guys, like certain type of guys hanging out with certain type of people. And like, dude, we don't even know. We don't talk about that stuff. We don't go into detail.
I mean, how would you guys feel if like you found out like your best friend was just like a complete creep? Like, would you just cut him off or?
Yes.
Actually, this has happened to me before. Loki, that's happened to me before. And basically, I had to cut him off. I gave him opportunities, but eventually I had to like cut it off because you know why? Because his reputation was bleeding onto our reputation. I was like, I don't want to be seen in that light. So, and I told him directly. I straight up told him directly. I said, listen, like we can't be associating like that because honestly, like what you're doing isn't right. And like I can't be associated because I don't want to be associated like in that type of light either. And that's what it just comes down to.
And Jesse even gave this dude like a grace period, like or like a healing period for like a certain period of time. Like what is it? It's like a period of time where you're testing someone. What is that called? That's not grace period, right?
It doesn't sound like grace.
It's like a period of time where you're like an evaluation period. He was evaluating. Jesse was an NFL scout, evaluating his interactions with women and stuff like that over like a period of time, like from a distance. And this dude
Just
he
kept
would-
messing up.
He would go
Yeah.
3 months and then he fuck up. He would screw up again. Then 3 months, screw up again. Then one time, we were supposed to break bread, you know, get some food with him or something like that. Another story popped up. We were like, dude, what in the world?
Sheesh.
Like, all right, gal, I'm out.
Did you
I
have
can't-
y'all ever had to cut people out? Like, what y'all ever had to cut people out because of something?
I mean, yeah, but like not for that specifically though.
Well, why have you had to cut out people before?
It was just like disrespecting what I was trying to do. Like I was building a business, and he was someone who was like doing videography and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had like a client shoot. So I was like, all right, like my boy can help me out and do it. And then basically like I paid it because I was like, you know, we're just starting up. We don't got a ton of bread, but you know, I can pay you some, you know. So I paid him in full. And then like he like didn't show up or he was late or something. And then he was just like didn't refund me.
I mean,
So I was just like,
I'm out.
what the hell?
I'm done
Like,
with.
what's
I'm done with
good?
this.
Like how can you just disrespect me like that? Like it's one thing if like it was on me and it's like, all right, just pay me back half or something, but just to like ghost me like that is just like,
oh yeah.
that's a wrap, you know?
There's one thing you never do. You never fuck with a man's bread, right?
Yeah. Yeah. More. Yeah. It's up there.
More or less, right?
Money's a vehicle, you know? But
All
yeah,
right.
that.
All right, for our last topic day, Steven, you got the you have the torch. You know, this is something that you want to discuss. Go ahead,
go
break
ahead.
it down, break
What
it
is
down,
this?
bro.
I
Curiosity.
wanted to talk about like your identity as an Asian male and like your experiences, whether that's in dating, whether that's in like your job, you just in general, like socially, everything.
we're in the Big Apple right now. The Big Apple is one of the hubs of Asian people. Would you say?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've hung out with the most Asian people in my life, besides being in China, than here or here.
Yeah, there you
than
go.
Anywhere else.
There
So,
you go.
yeah.
So do you think that the culture of dating and things like that is boosted because you're around people that look like you? So you can kind of identify with people that you look like. You have a lot more comfort with people you look like, who sound like you, have a culture like you, were raised like you, versus Jesse and I, we were raised in this little small town called Chester. Ain't no one looked like us. No one looked like us, barely. The only other Chinese person at my school was Jesse and maybe one or two other people. And we would never speak to each other. Versus here, everyone looks like you.
Whole clubs look like each
Whole
other.
clubs look like you. You can go to the club and a girl probably has 30 things that are similar. They probably eat the same things. Their parents treat them the same way. They got to take their shoes off in the house. You know what I'm saying? Do you think that is the reason why New York is such an Asian hub? And how has being in New York, I think, affected maybe your confidence, your swag, you know? Because you're around people that look like you.
I mean,
That was
dude,
loaded.
honestly, I grew up having like a lot of non-Asian friends. So I can't really say like being around a group of Asian people makes me more comfortable.
Okay.
It really just depends on the type of person they are.
Okay.
Like I could be in a room full of Asian people and still feel kind of uncomfortable just because of like how they act or behave, and vice versa with like non-Asian people.
I do agree with that. Like, I don't think the color of your skin is a telltale, but there are some not comforting things, but there are some things that, you know, you don't have to explain about yourself because you're Asian, or that, you know, that's leads to like types of chemistry. Like if we're talking about girls or whatever, that, you know, is good, you know, is productive. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina, you know, not a lot of Asians out there. I mean, there's like, grew up in a Chinese church, but besides that, like
Predominantly white?
No, Chinese church for like the first 10 years of my life. But outside of that, like I played basketball. So like I'm the only Asian in the gym like all the time. So it kind of, in a way, kind of builds character, like the thick skin type thing, just because you're going to encounter a lot of like what is it called? Microaggressions or just racism in general. but also you know, I'm very comfortable around anyone.
Okay.
I feel you on that.
So I'm gonna chime in real quick. Me and my brother share this perspective, and it's something that I've noticed. Like, since we grew up in an area with not a lot of Asian people, and probably you did too. Like, what was the predominant population around Greensboro?
It's like equal between black and white as the majority, and then Latino Asian were like
Okay.
9%, 10%, something like that.
So it's basically the same demographics as us. And I've noticed that like when I moved to the DMV where people they basically grew up around a lot of Asian people, that they get too comfortable and they only see life through one perspective of like how they were raised. Whereas like I guess like for you, my brother and myself, I feel like I can go up, I can talk to anybody, regardless of what your race is. You could be black, white, Hispanic, Arab, whatever. And I don't feel like an outsider because I grew up an outsider my entire life. You know, so like that has allowed me to basically like be more comfortable when talking to people that don't look like me.
Yeah.
Whereas like when I go to the DMV, after I moved to the DMV, no disrespect for the people in the DMV, like they don't branch out. They just stick with their peoples. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, because people like comfort. But at the end of the day, I just feel like even though like I look Asian, sometimes I don't actually think like an Asian person. I see stuff from a different perspective, and I see the world in a different perspective. And I could become more open-minded about certain things, you know. And that's like, but except for women, I like Asian women. All right,
Holler at them.
and it's for cultural preservation. Okay,
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I mean,
are you only like the Asian?
well, that's my preference, right? Like if I want to get married, have kids or someone, that's my preference, you know.
What
I'm
if-
not saying I'm counting out anyone that's not Asian, but I'm just saying, especially being here with a lot more options, just like
What if you met the perfect girl? Everything checks off. And that 10% is that she's Indian.
I feel like Indian's pretty close.
All right. We'll say everything checks out about everything you want, every single your preference. Like, dang, she's everything I want, but she's, I don't know. We'll say she's Italian or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll even say she like because there's a lot of people out there, they may be white or they may be black, but they're like they low key the Asian on the inside. We'll say she like that too. She's an Italian girl that likes anime.
She's a wafu.
Yeah, dude. I was about to say like the reason why I would want to marry an Asian girl because like I would want to watch like Korean dramas with them and like eat like Korean food. So if the girl's like white and she's like down to do all those things, then I'm completely fine with that. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of like white non-Asian people like into Asian culture. So
Thank BTS.
BTS.
It's BTS.
Shout out BTS.
Shout out BTS
Hey,
for doing
Steven,
that.
your people's so popular right now. You're like the coolest man on the block these days.
Dude, you should go to those BTS like those fan meetups.
You know, I hard for me to admit this, but I do you think about going to those like K-pop events to pick up girls because they're like really into Korean?
Dude, hey. I'm just
hey,
saying.
don't hate the player.
Don't hate the player.
Hey,
I'm just saying you should do
I
it.
mean, look.
Hey, listen, and any type of sport, any type of thing, if you have an advantage, use it.
That's facts.
100%, 1000%.
Right. So like Steven, you have an advantage right now as the most sought after Asian people on this planet.
That's not true. Dude, sometimes people can't even tell if you're Korean, Chinese, or Japanese.
That's also true. But
fair.
but in general though, because Korean culture is in, that kind of boosts up all Asians
Yes.
in general. So
Facts.
we all getting a boost.
we
so-
we all eating, bro.
yeah.
I love you,
No,
BTS.
bro. It's crazy to think from
Shout out Big Bang.
shout out Big Bang to go from like middle school or whatever, like middle school, high school to now. Like the perception of Asians is just, it's crazy how much it has
Yes.
changed.
for sure.
Facts.
You know?
Oh my
Hey,
god.
you know what's
facts.
funny on that? Like me and my brother have talked about this. Literally, if the world was what it was now, I'd be the coolest motherfucker in my school right now.
Yes.
I had the fucking big rim glasses. I watched the anime. I play video games. Come on now. They don't even know.
Yeah, man. You really be a trendsetter out there. You know?
Nah, but back then when I was young, bro, I was the biggest loser, bro.
Hey, but do you know why people say that? That why the trends that you see now are popular again? Is this is just a hypothesis? They say it's because the cool. They say the cool people in school they peak really early, so they really have no desires to actually like do anything later on in life. Versus the outcasts, they're like, oh shit, no one really likes me like that, and they carry who they are later on in life, and they hold that chip on their shoulder. because the outcast, the weird people, end up being the popular people. For
Yes.
example, like if you're popular in high school and you're an outcast in high school, later on when you're an outcast, people like that you're an outcast. Your outcast personality makes you more likable. How many artists were like, I was the weird kid in high school? You just say you have a friend that's an artist right now. You're like, yo, she's
Yeah.
kind of but hey, she blowing up now because she different.
Yeah. No, 100%. It's, I mean, just my personal experience. Let's say, so I got cut my junior year high school from basketball. Like junior year of high school, it's just like, and I want to play in college. Like, you got one more year after that. It's like, it's dead, bro. Like, you're done. But like, the fact that that happened, if I had made it, maybe I would have been satisfied, would have been cool just writing it out. Maybe not even want to play in college, but like that just kicked it to another gear to where, you know, I eventually got to that point where I was able to play in college. Like, that's just like microcosm. It's same theme, you know? So
Well, we can go ahead and wrap it up after that today, right? So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my boy Kane and Steven. And we'll catch y'all next
appreciate
time.
you having us.
Catch
man.
on the
Peace.
next one.
See you guys.